David DeFurry is an attorney. He's a former Obama campaign advisor, and he joins us tonight. David, thanks so much for coming on. So moments like this are so instructive because they really do divide the world into very clear sectors. You sort of know who's on whose side. And I find this interesting because the rationale has changed. So people are saying, you know, we need to fight ISIS, but that's not really the point. The point is to counterbalance Russia and Iran. And I'm wondering, is that, A, our goal, B, achievable with 2,000 troops in Syria? Like, what actually is the goal? I'm losing track.
Well, there are a couple goals. It's to fight ISIS. It's also to push back on Iran and on Russia. So what's stunning about this development is all of President Trump's foreign policy advisors and top military advisors were against this decision. And he reversed them today, suddenly, in a rash decision. Now, the reason why we should stay in Syria...
These are the same people who think we should stay in Afghanistan, right? So
some of them are the same, but the reasons are different. The reasons are different.
Okay.
Look, Trump's top policy advisor said, we are going to stay in Syria until we have, 1, rolled back Iran. That has not happened. 2, defeated ISIS. We have made major progress in fighting ISIS, but we haven't fully defeated them. I was in Iraq in October. Nobody on the ground in Iraq tells me we defeated ISIS there, and ISIS is even stronger in Syria still. Moreover, all of Trump's policy advisors have said we should stay in Syria until there's a political solution in Syria. None of those 3 things have happened.
Wouldn't it be
the Iran thing is the most...
Can I just suggest maybe another option? So there wasn't actually ISIS in Syria when the Assad government controlled the whole country. Christians and other religious minorities, a lot of them, lived in relative peace. Now they're hunted down and murdered. Why wouldn't it just be the simplest, most elegant, best solution for everyone involved if Assad managed his entire country again?
Because you're ignoring the history and the development of the revolution in Syria. The revolution in Syria...
It just happened a few years ago.
It happened organically. It began in 2011. It happened organically, right? And so Syria was an authoritarian state before that with tons of oppression. Maybe Christians were okay there.
Is there a non-authoritarian...
But people were not...
Is there a non-authoritarian state in that region other than Israel?
There are less authoritarian states.
Oh,
in
no,
that
but they're
region,
all
much less
authoritarian. I mean, Jordan's an authoritarian state. Criticize the king and see what happens. So, like, that's the rule in the region.
You cannot compare Jordan to Syria. You can't even compare Syria to Iraq, which has a fledgling democracy.
I'm just saying authoritarian justifies nothing. They're all authoritarians, okay?
But the point is that this was an organic revolution. The U.S. didn't start this revolution. It started by the Syrian people, majority of whom are Sunni Arabs. They stood up against Assad. He chose, rather than to reconcile with them, he chose to mow them down and slaughter tens of thousands of innocent, peaceful protesters. That's how the revolution began.
Okay, but I'm not defending Assad's character. I'm merely saying from the perspective, why would I?
Yeah.
I'm not Syrian. I don't work for Assad. I'm an American, and I want to know what's best for us. And if you're worried about the chaos and the huge refugee problems caused by this civil war and by the emergence of ISIS, again, abetted by the civil war, then why wouldn't you long for the days where Christians could live unmolested in Syria under this authoritarian Assad? I'm totally missing it. What am I missing?
This is actually going to cause more refugees, okay? Northeastern Syria right now is secure. The reason it's secure is because of the great work by our U.S. Special Forces working with the SDF, the local Syrian and moderate Sunni forces on the ground. They've secured it. And actually, there are less refugees coming from that area. The people can stay there peacefully. They're not getting bombed by Assad.
And
when we pull out, it's going to cause a massive wave of Syrian refugees again, because forces are going to go in and slaughter the forces that we've been working with on the ground. Yes, Assad's forces, Iranian Shia militia forces, and possibly even Russian forces.
Okay, and so we're responsible for that. Because so this is halfway around the world. We have crises like Venezuela's collapsed. It's right there. Mexico has probably as many murders as Syria. I mean, not close, right? So, like, I'm just saying there are a lot of things going on, but we have a moral obligation to keep 2,000 American troops in this country around the world. Because why? I'm honest, I'm confused.
Well, first of all, we are there already, and it's successful. So why pull out? We also do have some obligation to the forces on the ground
successful in what way?
Who fought bravely alongside us. Moreover, this is going to impact us because ISIS will come back. And if we don't have forces on the ground to monitor ISIS and to continue to combat ISIS, ISIS will come back. ISIS are sworn enemies of the U.S. They want to kill Americans. Right. And when they become stronger in Syria, they'll strike out against America again. So your viewers should worry about their own security because of this decision.
Well, there are a lot of reasons to worry about our own security. A lot. many, and our mental health and our economy and our healthcare. So there's a lot of things to worry about. But by the standards that you've just articulated, like, we're never going to leave there or Afghanistan or any place that we've been for more than 8 months. So
I wouldn't say we are never going to leave there, but we have to see progress on the ground. We have to see full defeat of ISIS. We have to see political progress towards a peaceful resolution in Syria, and there ought to be a democracy in Syria.
Why shouldn't? Who cares about that? The question.
Who cares about democracy?
I'll tell you what I care about is what's happening to the Christians there. Like, nobody cares. I don't understand. We invade Iraq as a huge Christian community. They all leave.
Well, who are killing the Christians in Iraq?
I'm not
ISIS.
Of course, but I'm just saying, well, why don't we make it an explicit...
Islamic militants are killing Christians in Iraq.
I'm not defending ISIS. I'm just saying, why don't we make it an explicit concern of the United States to protect the Christians? But we don't.
It is an explicit concern.
No, it's not, actually. We don't let it in.
It's an explicit concern of the U.S. to protect all minorities in Syria and Iraq, of which the Christian minorities are an important part of.
They don't seem that important to anyone here. But anyway, I hope they are. They're important to me. I'm glad they're important to you. David, thank you.
Thank you.